Hi everyone, Steve Gonzer, physical therapist and chief analyzer at RunSmartOnline.com, and I wanted to show you guys this video because I think it's important to show you how we can improve our running based on just targeting and being very specific with how we think about our strength training. So I have the same runner here on the left and right. The left runner is 1 year post-op of a hip fracture with a pin placement, and then we have her on the right side as well. And you know, the big thing is this runner has been suffering from a lot of on-again, off-again injuries, and we got down to brass tacks and we started looking at how does she move, how does she interact with the ground. So in the blue shorts, this is many years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, and I want to show you how she transitioned her strength. Up until recently, she actually had something very similar going on. I happen to not have the video on me, so I wanted to use this as an example of how she was moving prior to doing some strength training. So we're going to watch her come in contact with the ground, and erroneous of run form and heel strike and things. I want to look at show you how she interacts with the ground. So she's going to hit on her left foot, and that force is going to come skyrocketing up the chain, and her muscles have to push down to counteract that force. So you're going to see as she hits, the first thing I want you to notice is just watch this left knee here. As she hits, she's going to spin uncontrollably into the ground, so much so that her knees almost bang together. And if for any runner out there who feels like their knees touch through swing phase, or they're constantly catching their one foot on another foot, this is often because of a hip drop. So we see that as she comes through, her pelvis drops on this side, which everyone kind of talks about as the pelvic drop being weakness in the glute, but it's also weakness in the QL muscle, the ability to pull up on the pelvis. So we can see that she has weakness there, and she gets that uncontrollable spin. Same thing we're seeing on the other side. So she only has the hip fracture on one side. She's going to hit on the outside board of her foot and spin in, and you're going to see, just look at the uncontrollable right leg spin come down and in. You can see how her knees almost crash together. This is all hip strength, right? So what we need to do is you need to put yourself in this position, and you need to identify with this position right here, and you need to teach yourself how you can fire the hip while you're there. This is why, runner specific strengthening is so important, because you need to strengthen in the position that you're weak, not in positions that you're not weak. So what we did is we got her on a strength program, we got her going, we got her targeting some of these weaknesses that cause this uncontrollable spin, cause the hip drop on this side. You can see the hip drop again, she spins here, and this is the result. So we look at her today. She has PR'd in her half without even trying. She uses like a B race coming up for a marathon. And then we look at her Boston qualifier, and she qualified for Boston, but she said that she recovered well from tempo. She recovered faster from her longer runs. This is a runner who was constantly getting banged up in her marathon training throughout her body, hamstring, ankle, knee, everything. So let's take her right to her left side. We saw that her pelvis dropped. She spun in uncontrollably on her left. Let's look at her today. As she hits, she comes down and in. The first thing you're going to notice is look at how those knees don't bang together like they used to. And her calf isn't rubbing on her other calf. And most notably, her pelvis. Her pelvis is nice and level now. She's not dropping downwards, so we got a level pelvis. But we also don't see these triangles of death that we see. These triangles of death that we see here and here, and that's just usually an indicator of poor balance, so you're kicking the arms out wide. She has nice, good, fluid arm positions here and here. She's nice and symmetrical up and down, and she doesn't have that pelvic drop. She doesn't have the uncontrollable spin. On the other side, you're going to see the same thing. She goes down and in, but she's not banging one leg on the other, and she's got good control from side to side. So as I just kind of thumb through, you're going to see, we'll let her get her hands off the treadmill here. You're going to see that as she comes in, she's really controlling really well. Nice symmetry, nice arm position, nice pelvic control. Here she comes on the other side, hitting, and look at how clean that pelvis is versus the other side. So I encourage you to find yourself runner-specific strengthening. If you don't know what that looks like, jump onto our website. You get a free 10-day trial to start training yourself the way that you should as a runner to work on these inefficiencies. This is a runner who got stronger, fought injury, she recovered faster, she ran faster, and she got her Boston qualifier and doing it the right way, which is preaching in durability, and instead of kicking the can down the road and running on eggshells during your training. So jump over to the site, get going on the basic strength program. That's what we had her going on. She's doing 3 times a week. I don't even recommend you have to do that much. Most runners are type A, so they'll jump on board with that. But twice a week for 6 weeks, get your hips stronger, get everything stronger in a way that looks like and mimics running, and not one that is just there and designed to make you fit.